Blessings to you, our friends. We are the Ancestral Medicine Women, healing from the past for the present and the future. Now we want to talk about something that will be a little bit strange with its wording, but we want you to persist and just come to the end with us on this one. We want to talk about this idea of funding your own life. Now, this word funding, in modern terminology, has something to do with money, with finances. And we want to use that idea regarding your own life. Now, when somebody says, I'm going to fund something, it means they're going to give financial support for something. So, for example, there is an area where it is very poor and they need a hospital. And there are lots of sick people, but they do not have access to any kind of medical care. So some very nice person comes along and says, I'm going to fund a hospital. Right? And everybody says, oh, this is marvelous. The government said this is marvelous. And all of the local people, they say, oh, this is marvelous. And this person says, over 5 years, I'm going to fund it. Right? This is very good. And the governments think, well, that's very good because we don't have to worry about any medical care for these people. Yes, of course, in 5 years' time it's going to happen, but we won't worry because we won't put money or infrastructure in there because somebody else is going to do that for us. So for 5 years, the people, they have no medical care, no doctors, no sanitation, nothing like this because somebody else is going to, in 5 years, give them this lovely place, this hospital. They're funding it. In those 5 years, many people become very sick and they die. They have many problems with malnutrition and depression and all of these things, right? Because the people themselves are waiting. The government is waiting for this 5 years to happen and then this funding to occur. But something terrible happens. The person that was going to fund it becomes bankrupt and can no longer fund it. So then everybody is in a spin. Well, the government, we don't have the money to provide for these people because we did not expect this to happen. We were relying on this to happen. And the people, they said, but we don't have any help. We don't have this. We don't have what is going to happen to us. Please help us. Please help us. So this is the image you have of funding. Now we want to bring this to you. We want to give this idea of funding yourself with the idea of somebody else funding you for you. You can see what happens just in that small illustration. If you are waiting for somebody else to fund your life, not just financially, but in all these other ways, materially, maybe intellectually, maybe it is knowledge, maybe it is safety, maybe it is health. If you are waiting for somebody else to do that, then maybe it will never happen. Maybe by externalizing this requirement for your own life, for your own existence, you are actually setting it up so you can never be funded. You can never be self-sufficient because you're always waiting for somebody else to do it for you. Somebody else to supply the means. And we're not just talking about money. We're talking about every which way. The psychological, the emotional, and the physical, and the spiritual. This is what we are talking about. If you're relying on somebody else to fund all of that for you, you may never ever get there. You may never ever be yourself. You may never ever be well. You may never ever be whole because you're always waiting for somebody else to do it for you. So what we want to say to you is, fund your own life. Waiting for someone else to fund it for you is a waste of the very valuable gift that you are. Do you see now the importance of funding your own life? If you do not fund your own life, find a way to make you whole, yourself, not somebody else, not all of these people who are, shall we say, coaches, life coaches and gurus and reading all these self-help books and things like that and seeing all of these individuals who are celebrities and people like that and trying to emulate that. Because all you are doing is externalizing. All you are doing is giving them, and you may not even know them, the power over you to create who you are. But only you can do that. Only you can do that. Yes, you can take from them what you find works for you. But you cannot be them. You cannot emulate them. And you cannot expect them to make your life what you want it to be or how you see it. Only you can do that. And that is what we say. Fund your own life.